Keith Myers, I'm back. This next lesson is going to be the essential, basic, what you need to know if you're going to be on the street. You got to know how to punch. And it's that lead punch. Notice I'm not saying a jab. It's a lead punch. How to throw a lead punch. We're here, right? And my lead punch, I'll do the lead punch and one basic defense, because this is not like a blocking lesson, but just to get you punching. And I'm going to be in my basic position, and if I don't step, all I'm doing is I'm shifting my weight forward and I'm extending my hand, right? And back. Extend and back. Notice this hand is staying here. It's barring the mark. It's guarding me, which is particularly important if the guy can kick, because one of the primary defenses would be if the guy's throwing a lead punch at me, I fade out of the way and pow, a fuete right to the gut. So if his arm's not there covering himself as he's punching, he can take a hard shot right there. A punch, a kick, whatever. So again, that whole concept of protecting your abdomen in this system is part of that old English boxing and the old school savate. Anyway, lead punch. Notice I've got a vertical fist. I'm not turning because I want to hit as flat as possible. And I'm shifting my weight forward and coming straight back. So it's very much like a straight Wing Chun punch. There's going to be a lot of things in this that is very Wing Chun-like if you know anything about Wing Chun. More of a long bridge, long arm Wing Chun. Anyway, punch, retract, punch, I'm here, punch, 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 punch. Now, one of the other things that this arm does, it's covering me, but as I punch, I can actually kind of compress against myself and turn my shoulders. I get more extension that way. So it's kind of like doing this in fencing, where I'm doing a lunge in fencing. It's a similar concept, but it's here. So I'm pulling back with this shoulder at the same time I'm pushing out with that one. So I get a longer punch, and I made myself a narrower target. Okay? So I'm here, I punch. So again, this is not, it's not from this distance, it's from this distance. Alright? I'm trying not to step because we'll talk about that next. You just instinctively want to step. I'm just here, just shift my weight forward, I'm pulling back a little bit with this arm, extending. See, I can be back and forth, I can be milling like we talked about before. Be way out here. So it just shoots straight out. It should be hard to see coming. I'm not pulling it back. I'm not dipping my head. I'm not dipping my shoulder. I'm just here and I punch. And if I've got my hands in motion, that milling, then that even makes it less telegraphic because it's hard to see that's going to come. Now, the step, it's hard to do the punch without a step. The step is just so much a part of it. We talked about the basic footwork, heel to toe. It's the same way. I'm just taking a small step forward, heel to toe. Punch. Boom. So as I'm stepping, my weight is shifting forward, my shoulder's coming back, and I'm extending with my punch, and I'm recovering. Boom. Boom. Pop. Bam. It's just that boom, almost like a fencer doing a lunge. And at one point, English boxing was referred to as fencing with the fists, and it was very much related to the old school swordsmanship. Okay? And it's like, okay, I put down my sword, I'm doing back sword, I've learned to do a snapping cut like this, and then I put down my sword, and that snapping cut becomes that. So there's a direct relationship between old school boxing structure and weapons. Okay? So now I put this step in here. See how I'm rolling forward? So now I can be even further out. I can be way out here. The guy. Because I'm stepping. Bam. And see, I've got that extension. And it's straight out and back. Alright? And this was just a common step. But as boxing evolved and progressed, it was kind of lost because they got in a little closer and closer. So Jack Dempsey kind of revived the idea, and he called it a falling step or a drop step. And people have argued with me in the past that it's a step while the foot's in motion. That's not true, because that's not how they did it the old school. It was just, it's a falling step or a drop step, because as my heel hits, my weight is dropping, falling forward. Right? You can see that. Boom! And I'm back. It's that motion of your weight going that way. That's the falling or dropping. It's the falling and dropping of your weight and your momentum that gives more power to that punch. Bam! And I can do that without even stepping. I can be here and just drop and shift my weight forward and get my body weight going behind the punch, right? Jim Driscoll wrote an entire book called The Straight Punch and How to Develop It, which was a big influence on Bruce Lee, where he tried to get back to those basics and away from the arm punches like this. So that's the essential. When you look at the Defense Danseru books, the one by Emile Andre especially, and he's laying out your self-defense skills, the essential basic things you need to know, he covered the straight punch and the low kick, which is what we're going to do. And he considered those, if you're going to train somebody to defend themselves on the street and you have a limited amount of time, that's what they learn. Okay? So again, I surge forward and back. I take a little step, I'm moving around, I'm going to hit heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. Boom. 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 Okay? Now, one of the essential defenses against a straight punch, and there's a bunch of them because, again, that was the most common blow thrown. And it was a hard punch, not just a probing jab. So there was a lot of defenses covered against that straight punch. One of the basic ones is, the refrain was, throw the head and body back. Basically, is what Barton Wright called defending by distance, right? Guarding by distance. As the blow comes, I just lean back out of the way. So he's intended for it to hit here, and I put my head here, right? But I want to make sure he's not going to do a feint and then a body shot. So as I do that, there's our drill from the first video, right? I'm covering, I'm barring the mark, and my hand is up just in case I need to block. Or I could be catching his punch in my fist, right? Which modern boxing calls, you guessed it, a catch. So that drill, I'm going to put a punch into it now to make it, instead of just a transition drill like we worked on before, I make it a punch retract drill. So here, I'm back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. Boom, 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 boom. And obviously, you could do that with a partner. If I had a partner here, we could show you. He throws it to me, I fade back, and this is the idea. He's extended, he's punched at me, and as his punch is withdrawing, I follow him in and I land my punch, right? Or it could be that I punched and he's trying to do the same thing. He's going to hit me while I'm retracting. So as I'm pulling back my punch, instead of just a normal retraction, I fade back so he can't reach me. So this could be either seen as I'm evading and countering, or I was the aggressor and I'm defending. It's just that back and forth, and it helps you develop this rhythm, helps you develop this guard position, and it helps you with that weight shift forward and back because it makes you kind of exaggerate it. So this would be the normal punch, boom, boom. And if I put the defense at the end, this is the head evasion. Modern boxing calls it a pull, right? I'm trying to pull him towards me. It would be boom, pop, boom, pop. Or maybe he's punching at me. I evade and then hit him back. Evade, hitting back. That's why it's good to do a 3-count phrase, right? 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3. You do it both ways. And I'll show you later when we train it with a partner That's what we do, is that 3-count rhythm, so it switches back and forth who initiates the punch. Hopefully you can kind of see that. All right, that's fundamental number 1, knowing how to punch, how to generate power in that punch with a body shift. So it's not a jab, it's what Jack Dempsey called a jolt. Jab, jolt. Okay.